10th, 2025. And I would like to, at this time, call our workshop session to order. First order of business is discussion regarding the hostess house progress.
Mayor and Council, at your request, I've invited Kimberly with Reliance Architecture and Curtis with PSC Contracting to come speak with us tonight about the hostess house. Do you guys have any questions specifically for them, or?
I think at the recent information we received about maybe some safety issues over there, I'd like to direct staff to potentially look out at contracting another structural assessment, whether or not there's safety issues for our citizens before we move forward, regarding the scope of moving forward.
And I think that's what we need to do before we communicate any further on this issue. Okay. So you want to see?
I was just going to say, is that something you would like our structural engineer to look at the regulations for any of those concerns, or is that an outside company you were wanting to hire to do so?
Well, I think probably what we need to do is the council needs to get together in executive session and talk amongst ourselves to see kind of what direction that we need to go on that before we make a definitive decision on that.
So I think the more that's been exposed, the more issues there's been, haven't there?
I believe today we talked about some of those during the OAC meeting about some potential for some shear in the existing building that may need to be accounted for, because the existing building is basically just a stick, columns and the outside veneer. There's not a lot of shear support or diagonal bracing.
And also as the project has continued and more gravels come out, the more that gets uncovered, there's more issues. It sounds like more headaches. So we just want to address these safety issues first, and then we get back to you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move to item number 3. Present HUD section 3, presentation for the Texas CDBG City CDB 23-022-67 grant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ms. Fuentes cannot be here this evening from Langford. She has some other council meetings she had to attend as well. But this is part of the TDA grant that we were awarded for drainage on the northwest side of town. And this is one of the first steps we have to make sure that we present to you of how the Langford Community Services will be using the implementation of how Langford will be tracking Section 3, which is the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. To be able to offer moderate to income businesses that do implement the advertisements for construction and track the hours of those employees. This is a requirement through TDA. Did they have any questions? That the actual packet, the complete packet is in the complete packet that was presented to me from them is in your packet for you to review as well.
We were awarded $500,000 in money for all the tracking that we have to report to the state or whatever. I'm assuming they'll be able to get all those hours and pay from us. They'll initially
They have mechanisms in place to be able to track what they do and how they are able to go out. I'm not sure of their exact process, so I've never been part of that process before. But yes, they do have a method that they go through and be able to identify these areas that they have to track and then make sure that we're compliant for TDA.
So do we know when this work will commence? When will start?
Not until 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still have some time. It's just one of the very initial steps in it. We did engineering about 6 months ago, and we've done the administrative part, so it's just a step process.
And on page 16, Rick, it says that Section 3 workers that reside near the project location can also qualify for this, I guess, grant money. Do we have anybody earmarked, or do we have the employees or workers that we know of that qualify that? I'm not too sure what that means, but it should start with that.
That's okay.
But page 16, do you know of any workers that reside near that project location base qualify?
Well, I know that we had to go out and do some research for low to moderate income for areas that would qualify for this grant. I'm not certain if this is what it's referring to or the actual workers, but I can definitely get more information from Langford to be able to answer those questions for
And
you.
if we had citizens or workers or whoever that qualify for whatever these benefits are, that'd be great. Okay, thank you.
With that, we'll go to discussion regarding any items on the regular agenda. And we will get a motion to adjourn workshop. So moved. Second. All rise. We'll call a regular session to order.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight grateful to be in such a great place, great community, surrounded by good people. We ask that you be with us tonight. We have to share information, make good decisions for the betterment of your entire community. We're thankful to be here. We ask forgiveness of our sins. We ask that you look over us and save until we can meet again. As always, in Jesus' name, amen.
Join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honoring the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Citizens comment. Any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter that is not included on the agenda may do so at this time.
Presentation.
We need to present that.
I'm sorry. We have a recognition.
So annually, we present y'all with your dollar for your service that you provide to the city of Lampasas, and we just want to thank you for what you do for the community, for the employees, for the citizens. So if you'll come and grab your little coin, and we'll get a picture if you don't mind. You're welcome.
Did you shave some off? Did you shave some off, some of the silver off there? No, I
You're gonna get my teeth.
You gotta show me your present.
It's trigger when you pull it away from me.
That's not your present, David.
Hands up there.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to citizens' comment. Any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter not included on the agenda may do so at this time. And we have none. 1.2, any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter that is included on the agenda may do so at this time.
Yes.
We have none. Public hearing to receive citizens' comment regarding a request to rezone property from single-family residence 6, SF6, to two-family resident district duplex for property described as PT lots 3, 4, 5, Block 6, Matthew and Wilkes, addition commonly known as 1704 East 3rd Street, Lampasas, Texas.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, Fifth Tree Construction is asking the Commission to consider approval, denial, or approval of modification request to rezone the property to two-family duplex. The area around this property is zoned single-family residential. As far as the comprehensive plan, it does meet the requirements as far as revision for traditional residential. We did send out notifications to 8 notices around the property. We did not receive any in opposition or in favor of the request. This was heard by the Planning Commission, and they did recommend approval. I do have the developer in the audience, if you have any questions specifically for them. Again, it's just going from single family to duplex.
Any questions? No, sir. We will move to 1.4, public hearing to receive citizens' comment regarding a request to rezone property from single-family residential 10, SF10, to 2 family residential districts, duplex property described as Lot 5, Block 37, LSC, First Edition, commonly known as 207 Ridge Street, Lampasas, Texas, Lampasas County.
Mayor and Council, similar request. This is a single family residential 10 property, and they're asking to rezone it to duplex for 2 family. The area surrounding the property is zoned single family and 2 family duplex. We did send out notifications to property owners within 200 feet of the property. We did receive back 2 in favor and none in opposition. This is in line with the comprehensive plan as far as being traditional residential vision.
Any questions?
And this is served by planning and zoning and they're.
Yes, sorry, yes. All 3 of these cases were heard before the planning commission, and they all recommended approval.
No other questions? We'll move on to 1.5, public hearing to receive citizens' comment regarding a request to rezone property from single-family residential 6 to SF6 to commercial C with specific use permit to allow for a welding or machine shop for a property described as lots 5 and 8, block 1, East Lampasas Edition, commonly known as 605 College Street, Lampasas, Texas, Lampasas County.
Yes, sir. This is a little unique situation, and the Halls are asking for consideration or request to rezone it to commercial with a specific use permit to allow for a welding or machine shop. Currently, their homestead is across the street, and this is their property. They have 2 lots, and they did have a workshop on there. They were used for personal use, and it's kind of evolved over time, and that's where they actually have some part-time work being done on the workshop. So to make sure they're compliant with the zoning regs, we want to go ahead and see about consideration changing it from single-family residential to commercial, which is a better land use fit for what they're doing. As far as the comprehensive plan, it is a good mix for the area. The suburban mix is a vision for this property as well. We did send out notifications to property owners within 200-foot radius, and we received 1 in favor of the request and none in opposition. They are here, and this did go before the planning commission as well, and they did recommend approval.
Any questions? All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you. 2.1, discussion and action concerning approval of minutes of regular meetings held on January 27th, 2025.
I didn't see any corrections or any approval.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda, discussion and possible action regarding purchases and charges in excess of $4,000 from January the 1st, 2025 to January 31st, 2025.
Move to approve by consent.
Any discussion? Need a second? Second. Thank you. You have a second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
annual report.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. If you'll notice, on the dash, you also have a questionnaire from our audit firm. If you don't mind filling that out tonight and leaving it for us, they will be back in my office tomorrow to finish out this week's worth of audit. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me tonight to present our staff report. I do apologize for being out last meeting due to an illness, but you do have a copy of the report there in front of you. It's in green. Nobody wants a financial report that's in red, so the green is on purpose. So just to get you a little bit started on our departments, it is also the finance and the utility department together. They are separate departments, but we work hand in hand together. The clerks and I, and our accountant, the billing clerk, our meter techs, we all intertwine our job duties and work basically for both departments. Just to start out with finance a little bit, which includes myself and the accountant. Just to elaborate a little bit of what you have in your report. One of our main goals is to protect the city's assets and the properties. That is our main goal, is to always have checks and balances within the finance department to make sure that we're not, I apologize, I thought that was on. To make sure that we are always checking each other. There's always somebody else checking your work so that the risk of fraud is very low. We have a check signer. We only have 2 employees that can sign checks within the city, and they are not part of the utility or the finance department. That's a checks and balance. We account for all the revenues within the city. So every penny that comes in from the golf course, from the library, from the cemetery, from the pools, the swimming pools, every penny goes to our department so that it gets logged into GLs correctly. Everything that we have that comes across as far as money-wise goes is counted by 2 people. So a lot of that is just to protect the employee and also to protect the city. Another main goal of finance is to follow all the state and federal laws. We have many laws that we have to follow, the purchasing laws, GASB, which is your Governmental Accounting Standards Board, investment requirements from PFI, 941 reports, getting out the W-2s and 1099s. We have to do a census report every year to the federal government, and they're very detailed on all the revenues that you have, all the debt that you have, all the expenses that you have. It's a very detailed, in-depth report. A hot funds report we have to do annually. We do an EIA electric report annually, LEDC annual report. Sales tax, we do monthly. There's a lot of different reports that the city must keep up with, and we have to get in a timely manner. And one of the other main goals that I feel that the finance department is to answer to the citizens of Lampasas. We want to have a very transparent office. Anybody can walk in, look at our books, see what's going on, have questions, they're free to come talk to me. We have to safeguard our investments. There's limits on what we can do, how much money we can invest, how long we can invest it, the type of investments that we can make. Making sure that we make all our debt payments on time, that we keep our credit rating with S&P. So adhering to the budget. If we are out of budget, making sure we do the budget amendments. And then we participate in the audits, getting all the information for the auditors, trying to get as much done for them ahead of time so that they're not having to dig and do a lot. So I've got some statistics there for finance for you two to look through, but that kind of wraps up finance. Kind of in a nutshell, not everything that we do, but a lot of things that are important to us to get done. Next, utility billing. We have 1 billing clerk, 3 full-time utility clerks, 1 part-time utility clerk, and 2 meter techs. So some of the main goals of the utility department, of course, is accurate reading and billing information. We want to make sure that we're reading those meters correctly, that everybody's being billed for exactly what they use. There's different various things out in the field that happen. Meters die. Animals get on the meters. people mess with the meters. So every month, it's a different thing that may come up every month. So we want to make sure that our utility revenues are correct. They are they are vital to the city's operations and the maintenance of our infrastructure. We also want to make sure we have accurate equipment and knowledge of all staff, make sure they're all trained, that we have the computers that we need, that we have the reading information that we need, the reading equipment. And we appreciate that. We've been able to keep up with technology and do that because the council has allowed us to do that. And we also pride ourselves in great customer service. We live in a small community. We try to work with people as much as possible within our policies and parameters. I know there's a lot of people that are elderly on a fixed income. We just ask that they come talk to us. If they talk to us, we'll work with them. When we don't know what's going on, we don't know how to help anybody. So we're very open to helping people with their bills, give them a little bit extra time to help pay, answers to any questions. We listen to a lot of complaints and try to resolve their issues. If we can't resolve them, then we'll find somebody that can. We extend, like I said, we'll extend our payments out. We'll take our meters and have them tested. We'll send the meter readers out. We can have a face-to-face meeting with the customers. If they have, where's their electric line? Where's their electric meter? How does that work? Where is their cutoff at? So there's a lot of times that we send the guys out in the field to go meet with customers, just to give that little extra customer service that I believe that a small town can provide, that a lot of maybe in larger cities don't. Utilities has just a little background. We have 3 billing cycles. We do late notices after the due date. We do door tag before we disconnect. So we try to give them a little heads up. Hey, this is coming, call us. Give us a heads up, let us visit with you, let us see what's going on. Sewer rates, we're about to work on those. They're off the winter average. So we use the water during the winter time so that the water's not as much usage as it would be in the summertime. So that makes the sewer rates not as high as they could be. Refund checks, NHL checks. We work with agencies in town that offer assistance to the citizens. We try to get them to the senior center, to different churches that help in town. You also have on your report the work order statistics. And then in the future, we'd like to update the utility and the cash policy. They are a little old. Used to on the internet, we'd only accept cash. Now you can take credit cards. There's different ways to pay now instead of just the cash. So we've changed with the times on that. Cross-training, we're in the middle of doing that right now. We do have one of our team members that is out of state on a family emergency. We've had to train another person to help do her job, pick up the slack, and we've been able to do that because we started the cross-training. That's very important for everybody to kind of have an idea of what everybody else does. And we'll continue to do the meter change-out process to make sure we have new and accurate meters. That kind of gives both departments, like I said, in a nutshell. If y'all have any questions, I'm free to open them tonight, or my door's always open.
There's any questions?
Yeah, do we have any plans to go away from the old dot matrix, postcard, electric, water bill, to a more up-to-date email?
Well, Aaron and I have visited with that possibility of going away from the cards. It would be a full page. It would be a full page when we do emails now. You can sign up and get it emailed to you. You're still going to get the card, but we are working on seeing what the different things that we can do to upgrade our bill.
How hard would it be to do an email in lieu of the card? So we can start cutting down on those costs and maybe eventually we can just completely go away with it.
I don't think we can completely go away from that. Not everybody in town has emails. A lot of your elderly community is not going to have emails or be tech savvy to do that. There's one way or another we're still going to have to do some type of physical bill, but we could probably cut down if you choose to get a paperless email only. I believe that's in our round to be able to do
I
that.
love it. I didn't know we could do that. I'll sign up for that today.
Okay.
To do email instead of the postcard.
Okay.
I'd like to see us
I'm gonna have to
transition.
look into this, that, just to get some details on that, but I can certainly research that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Marina, what would be a wish list for this council and for future councils for your department of finance? Do you have your eye on anything in particular that we need to?
Not
help
really.
with?
Just our automated, some of our machines are getting older. We have what's called a burster that bursts all of our bills. So, it has gone down, so we're having to burst the bills by hand at the moment. That's taking us a little bit of time, but we're gonna look into maybe going to a full sheet. So if I go to a full sheet, then we would look at machines to fold that sheet and stick it in an envelope for us. So kind of see the direction that the utility office wants to go will dictate what type of machinery we're gonna need. But basically, just the automated machinery helps us out a great deal.
Okay, as far as personnel goes,
Personnel goes, we're doing well. Our part-time lady helps out a lot. But like I said, it is utility department, finance department, that I have a utility clerk that can look at POs and send them out to all the departments. That helps free up the accounts payable clerk to be able to do other things to help me. We're in the middle of transitioning or teaching my job over to the accountant. And so we've started doing that. And with doing that, we've had to hand out a few little other tasks to other employees, but we're able to do it.
you brought up something, and I think I was here a while back, was having a designated purchasing agent for the city.
The city manager and I have talked about doing a designated purchasing agent. That would be a great help to, I think, the city as a whole.
It
So
would
that
really
everybody,
streamline, and Ron's got some great processes in place, but it would really streamline some of those things. Purchasing is huge in municipalities, and I'm sure you're hearing state law with that, it would just provide a consistent application to.
Would it also bring some a little bit more transparency, not that there's not transparency now, but.
Right, right now, each of the department heads is responsible for securing their own bids for items, and this runs through a centralized office. We've got folks that, we need their hands out in the field, they don't need to be tied up doing bid advertisements and things like that, and so it really, I think it kind of adds another level of that security that you're looking for when you're dealing with municipalities' finances.
Anything else? Yes. Thank you.
thank you, Mayor and Council.
City manager operational report.
Mayor and council, the city's auditors are on site to fiscal year 24 audit. We expect that to be complete, it has to be complete and in our hands by March 31st. So I believe that Ron said that we typically do an audit review committee.
Yes.
So we'll be looking for some council volunteers for that when we get our finalized audit. We've got a lot of positions we're hiring for right now. We have a lot of interest in a part-time library clerk, and we did offer someone that position last week, and she's starting tomorrow, so she looks to be a really great candidate. The police department interviewed several candidates last week and had some good candidates. I believe Chief Cummings, you've got 3 openings right now.
We have 3 on our schedule that are open. We have 1 in the academy, open hospital position, another person. The same classes, including class 2, and then we hope to put a cadet in our position in March Academy to graduate in October. So that would be our 3 spots there. We'll call that fully staffed if it all plays out, and we'll background in a week or so. I will say that we've got 3 ready to go in the academy for 4 spots.
So that's really good news for us. We are still accepting applications for the Public Works Director. We've got some really great ones, so plan on starting to interview for that next week. And then tonight, if the organizational chart is approved, there will be a part-time position for an airport employee, someone that solely focuses on the airport. That's actually going to be paid for out of existing budgeted funds. In speaking with Chris Iker, he was willing to relinquish one of his new positions that he had funded this year, so that will have a neutral budgetary impact for that position. So if that gets approved tonight, and with the airport advisory board on Wednesday, then we'll open up applications for that next week. Becky's been doing a really great job working with Frontier on the upcoming transition for solid waste. In the month of April, Frontier is gonna be switching out dumpsters with Waste Connections. So Waste Connections will, or in the next month, I guess. Waste Connections will still be servicing them, but they'll be Frontier dumpsters, and they're working on a communications plan to get all the necessary information out to citizens. So that rollout's coming along pretty smoothly so far. They've been mirroring existing routes and all of those things, so it'll be a fairly smooth transition. Just a reminder that Friday is your deadline to file for your election, so if you haven't got your packets in, want to run again, please do that. And then Saturday, March 1st, the Lampasas County Friends of the Night Sky will be hosting a Stars at Night Star Party at the old middle school cafeteria in conjunction with Vision Lampasas and the Lampasas Public Library from 5 to 9. There will be a guest speaker, telescopes, lots of fun, so make sure you add that to your
Thank you, Mayor. And that'll take us to new business, 7.1. Discussion and selection of website photo contest winner.
Mayor, City Council, we received one photo entry for the month of January.
It's not that hard for you.
Make a motion for entry one.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye. No opposition.
One that never votes. 7.2, discussion and possible action regarding the first reading of the ordinance calling May 3rd, 2025 general election for the city of Lampasas to elect expired terms of council members, places 3, 4, 5, providing for early voting, polling times and places, and bilingual election material.
Yes, exactly what you said, Mayor. That is what we're doing. We're going to try to go through with the first reading of the ordinance this evening, go ahead and get the process started.
It also includes a couple of places in 3.5, correct?
I'm sorry, you read them.
That includes more than places 3.5.
It's the mayor, place 1, place 2, place 3, and place 6.
Yeah, this wasn't read that way, but it's on the back now.
Oh,
Yes, in the packet, it's talking about electing expired terms for council members, place 3, 4, and 5, but it's mayor, place 1, place 2, place 3, and place 6.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance calling for a general election to elect the expired terms of mayor, council member place 1, 2, and 6, along with the unexpired term of place 3 for the city council of the city of Lampasas, Texas, to be held on the third day of May 2025, providing for polling times and places, providing for early voting, and providing for bilingual election materials.
second. Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
7.3, discussion and possible action to issue order of election for municipalities for the May 3rd, 2025 general election.
Mayor and Council, this item is placed on the agenda to consider a motion to issue the notice of election as well as the order of election.
Make a motion to issue the notice of election to be held May 3rd, 2025.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and possible action to consider the first reading of the ordinance to approve, deny, or approve the with modification to request to rezone property from single-family residential 6, SF6 to a 2-family residential district duplex for property described as PT of lots 3, 4, and 5, Block 6, Matthews and Wilkes addition, commonly known as 1704 East 3rd Street, Lampasas, Texas, Lampasas, Texas County.
Mayor and council, this item was discussed during public hearing, and at this time, we're asking to consider a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance to approve, deny, or approve modifications or request for rezone property from single-family residence 6 to 2-family duplex for property described as partial of Block 3, 4, and 5, Block 6, Matthews and Wilkes addition, commonly known as 1704 East 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussions? No discussion? All in favor? Hold it, back up.
Is you moving to approve on there?
Yes.
We have a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7.5, discussion and possible actions to consider the first reading of an ordinance to approve or deny with modifications a request to rezone property from single-family residential 10, SF10 to a 2-family residential district duplex for property described as Lot 5, Block 37, LSC, First Edition, commonly known as 207 North Ridge Street, Lampasas, Texas County.
Mayor and council, this item was discussed during public hearing, and at this time, we're asking to consider a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance to approve, deny, or approve modifications or request for rezone property from single-family residential to 2-family residential district duplex for property described as Lot 5, Block 37, LSC First Edition, commonly known as 207 North Ridge Street.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
7.6, discussion and possible action to consider the first reading of the ordinance to approve, deny, or approve with modifications the request to rezone property from single-family residential 6, SF6, to commercial C with specific use permit to allow for a welding or machine shop for property described as lots 5 and 8, Block 1, East Lampasas Edition, commonly known as 605 College Street, Lampasas, Texas, Lampasas County.
Mayor and council, this item was discussed during public hearing. We're asking for consideration of a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance to approve, deny, or approve modifications or request for rezone property from single-family residential 6 to commercial C with a specific use permit to allow for welding or machine shop for property described as lots 5 and 8, Block 1, East Lampasas Edition, commonly known as 605 College Street, Lampasas, Texas.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
7.7, discussion and consideration of possible action regarding proposed change orders for roof, hostess house renovations and additions.
Mayor and council, this item was brought to you at your last meeting for consideration. Staff was directed to contact TML Insurance to see if there's a potential for any insurance claim on the roof of that building. There is not, in fact, any structural damage to the roof there. Anything sustained during the last hailstorm was cosmetic only, so there's no insurance coverage available for the replacement of that roof. Again, this goes back to a decision on where are we at with the hostess house, or are we looking at a full roof replacement, or simply what was originally included in the bid, given council's direction tonight, or what does that look like?
Move to deny the change order for reroofing the entire project and approving the addition to the hostess house. I guess the original bid of the project.
Yes, sir.
Have a second? Any discussion, questions?
You got a question, because I'm a little bit at a loss here, because insurance says there's no problem, but contractor says there is.
I'm sorry?
Insurance says there's not a problem.
Right, so
The
what,
contractor says there is, so which is it?
well, so what has been brought to our attention is that the roofing that's on the old portion of the hostess house It's not roof type material. It's walls, it's exposed screws. So there's concern that in the future there's going to be a failure to the roof. Currently, according to insurance, it's structurally holding up okay.
But that's just the roof itself, there's some other issues that we need to address. That would have an effect on the roof.
Okay, we have a second. Any other questions? All in favor? Favor to deny, correct. All in favor to deny. Which change we got? Seven point eight, discussion and consideration of possible action to approve FY 25 City of Lampasas organizational chart.
Mayor and council, the org chart is kind of a formality, but it's typical for a municipality to have one adopted in place. Not only does it help council and citizens understand where staff aligns within the organization, but it can help staff internally as well. To my knowledge, the city of Lampasas has not formally adopted an organizational chart, so this is their first. And staff commits to reviewing the org chart as necessary as changes may be developed through the city, but no less frequently than during our budget meetings over the summer. So we'll be including it in your budget packets.
Move to approve the organizational chart as presented by the city manager.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Seven point nine, discussion and possible actions to purchase electric wire from Techline Inc. in the amount of $32,555.
Mayor and council, I'm seeking to purchase some primary underground, 5,000 foot. Last time we bought some was in February of 2001, so we don't use very much. We don't purchase very often, but we're about out, and I'm going to be needing 900 foot over at the turning complex on the project. A couple reels that did 20,000, and also on that, to make that 32,000, see. So for the 32,555, 9,330, that's for some quad URD for the ballpark, and some another 3225 for 2 light quad for the ballpark. So 32,555 total.
Some of those were.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of electrical wire from Techline Inc. in the amount not to exceed $32,555.
Second.
Some of this was Turner Field, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't.
about 20% of the primary, the 20,000.
Okay.
Is this all the same wire, Wayne?
No,
Three different types.
Sorry? Three different types?
3 different types of wire.
And it's currently in your budget?
Yes.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
7.10, discussion, consideration, possible action, increasing contingency funding for the hostess house renovations from 5% to 10%.
Mayor and council, this item is to consider increasing the contingency fund for the hostess house remodel from 5% to 10%. On a project this large, of historic nature, it's unusual to see that contingency amount at 5% rather than something higher. And it is currently, because the 5% contingency has been utilized, is currently causing potentially some delays in the project and having to bring these change orders to council each time they come up now, because it's outside of our budgeted items. So this is simply a request for council to consider increasing that contingency fund.
Based on the earlier conversation, looking back at this project before we move forward, I make a motion to table 7.2 this time, come back into it.
A second.
Any other discussion on this? We need to vote on it. Okay, so we discussed it. At this time, the city council of the city of Lampasas, Texas, will meet closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, as follows. Chapter 551, economic development, to receive and evaluate financial information received from business, to discuss and or to deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the city council has received from a business that the city seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the city, with which the city is conducting economic development, negotiation, and or to deliberate and offer any financial other incentive to any business respect described above. 8.2, section 551, 806, 8086, relating to the authority of public power utilities governing body to deliberate regarding competitive matters of utility. 8.3, section 551, 074, personnel matters to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation to reassignment duties of city secretary and other personnel matters as allowed by Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, we have a motion to adjourn to the executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.